Hello
Good
everyone.
morning.
First question is the public distribution system of India plays a crucial role in reducing food insecurity by acting as a safety net by distributing essentials at a subsidized rate. Elaborate on the reforms needed to PDS supply chain in the country. So this question will be from GS paper 3. We need to write within 250 words. So this question is mainly focusing on what? The public distribution system, its crucial role in reducing food security, as well as we need to state some reforms for this PDS supply chain in the country. So let's first discuss the answer. আমি গম পাওঁ পাব্লিক ডিষ্ট্ৰিবিউশ্যন যিটো চিষ্টেম হয় সেইটো এটা ছাবচিডাইজ ৰেটত মানে আপোনাৰ যেনেকে আপোনাৰ চাউল দিলে ছাপ'জ দামটো অলপ ভেৰি কৰিব পাৰে ছাপ'জ এটকাত 1 কেজি বা আটা দিলে আপোনাৰ 2 টকাত 1 কেজি চ' সেনেকুৱাবিলাক যিটো আপোনাৰ ছাবচিডাইজ ৰেটত দিয়ে তাৰে মেইন কাম হৈছে পাব্লিক ডিষ্ট্ৰিবিউশ্যন চিষ্টেমৰ চ' হোৱাট ইজ দ্য পাব্লিক ডিষ্ট্ৰিবিউশ্যন চিষ্টেম? The public distribution system is an Indian food security system which evolved as a system for distribution of food grains at affordable prices and management of emergency situations. It distributed subsidized food and non-food items to India's poor, and this scheme was launched in June 1947. So, বহুত আমাৰ স্বাধীনতাৰ সময়ৰ পৰাই মানে আপোনাৰ এই স্কিমটো ষ্টাৰ্ট মানে ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰা হৈছিল চ' আমাৰ মানে 1947 চনৰ পৰা এতিয়ালৈকে আৰু বিফৰ ইণ্ডিপেণ্ডেন্স তেতিয়াৰ পৰাই এইটো চলি আছে ইট ফাংচনছ থ্ৰু এ নেটৱৰ্ক অফ ফেয়াৰ প্ৰাইচ শ্বপছ এট ছাবচিডাইজ প্ৰাইচ অন এ ৰিকাৰিং বেচিছ আপোনালোকে দেখিব গাঁৱে গাঁৱে আমাৰ যিখিনি দোকান থাকে কিছুমান কণ্ট্ৰল দোকান সেইবিলাকত এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ছাবচিডাইজ ৰেটটো আৰু লিখাও থাকে তাত ডিষ্ট্ৰিবিউশ্যন কৰা হয় and the government recently said nearly 6.83 lakh tons of fortified rice. I hope you all know about fortified rice has been distributed under the PDS in the second phase beginning April this year. Now, what are the importance of PDS? Of course, these food grains to the poor at prices lower than the prices of the food grains at private shops. Food grains are directly purchased from the farmers, assuring farmers with a greater price, make goods available to consumers, especially the disadvantaged or vulnerable sections of the society at fair prices, rectify the existing imbalances between the supply and demand for consumer goods, check and prevent hoarding and black marketing in essential commodities, ensure social justice in distribution of basic necessities of life, even out fluctuations in prices and availability of mass consumption goods, then support poverty alleviation programs, particularly rural employment programs, SGRY, SGSY, IRDP, midday meals, ICDS, SHGs, and food for work and educational feeding programs. It's বহুত important হয় মনত ৰাখিব চ' এইখিনি হৈছে বেনিফিট সহজ অৰ্থত ক'বলৈ গ'লে ইয়াৰ ইম্পৰ্টেঞ্চ এটাই যে আমি পুৱৰসকলক এটা এফৰ্ডেবল প্ৰাইচত ফুড গ্ৰেইনছ প্ৰভাইড কৰোঁ ছেকেণ্ডটো হৈছে that food grains should be purchased from directly. Food grains are directly purchased from the farmer so that those farmers are assuring also some income, of course, a good income. Then this is trying to balance those black market, those things, those means selling the goods at higher price. So thereby, it tries to ensure social justice in distribution of basic necessities of life. Any importance. Now, what are the challenges faced by PTS? Procurement, open-ended procurement. All incoming grains accepted even if buffer stock is filled, creating a shortage in the open market. That's a very, all incoming grains that will be accepted even we don't have that amount of storage capacity available. Then the recent implementation of Nation Food Security Act would only increase the quantum of procurement, resulting in higher prices for food grains. Then the gap between required and existing storage capacity. Then the provision of minimum support price has encouraged farmers to divert land from production of coarse grain that are consumed by poor to rice and wheat. So এইখিনি হৈছে ইয়াৰ problem. সহজ অৰ্থত ক'বলৈ গ'লে what are the problems they are facing? First, we don't have sufficient storage facility. Means incoming food grains will be accepted anyhow. Then this National Food Security Act is implying increase in the quantum of procurement, so higher prices for the grains. Then the provision of minimum support price has encouraged farmers to divert the land from production of coarse grains that are consumed by poor to rice and wheat. মানে এই minimum support priceৰ আশাত বহুতখিনি খেতিয়কে বাকীবিলাক coarse grains খিনি এৰি পেলাই মাত্ৰ ৰাইচ আৰু wheat productionত ধ্যান দিয়া হৈছে. So these are the some problem or issue which this PDS. Now storage, মই যেনে কৈছো storage কি হৈছে inadequate storage facility with Apsc. Then food grains rotting or damaging on the cap or cover and plain storage. ভালকৈ মানে ফুড গ্ৰেইনছ খিনি ৰখাৰ ব্যৱস্থাও নাই, গেলি যায় সেই গুদামতে বা নিগনিয়ে খায়, বহুত বেয়া অৱস্থা হৈ গৈছে. So storage of food grains indicates high carrying cost on the government. Then allocation of food grains, identification of poor by the states is not foolproof. A large number of poor and needy persons are left out, while a lot of fake cards are also issued. আপোনালোকে দেখি আচৰিত হ'ব যে বহুত ধনী মানুহে এই ৰেচন কাৰ্ড কেনেকে উলিয়াই আই ডোন্ট নো উলিয়াই পেলাই এইখিনি মানে যিখিনি সাবসিডাইজ ফুড তেওঁলোকে কিনাগে. যদি নিজৰ এটা এথিক থাকিলেহেঁতেন obviously they will not go for that, because these are for the poor and really few portion of the poor are left out, few portion of the needy person are left out, but those fake card holders are taking benefit out of this. Then illicit fair price shops, the shop owners have created a large number of bogus cards or ghost cards or for not existent people to sell the food grains in the open market. Etu eta সমস্যা. Illicit fair price shops means they are trying to capture a large quantity with some ghost cards. Mean those cards for those people who really don't exist, and after procuring that those means shop owners sell those particular grains at some higher rate in the open market. It's a very big problem, like the fake card holder, and similarly this illicit fair price shop. Then transportation is also a problem because leakage and diversion of food grains during transportation happens. Uneven distribution of food generations, procurement, and distribution. As for example, northeastern states are very far from Punjab and Haryana, from where wheat is procured. And then to transport the food grains from Punjab to far-flung areas in the northeast will entail cost and time both. So good kind of means planning before the transportation is needed. Then other issues are there, like many times good quality food grains are replaced with poor quality food grains. Then public distribution system includes only few food grains such as wheat and rice. It does not fulfill the requirement of complete nutrition. সেইটো কাৰণেতো আমি ইয়াৰ আৰম্ভণিতে কৈছিলো যে এইটো নিউজত এইটো কাৰণে আহিছে কাৰণ 45 ৰাইচ বিতৰণৰ কথা চৰকাৰে ডিক্লেয়াৰ কৰিছিল. Then fair price shop owners get fake ration cards and sell the food grains in open markets. Now, PDF reforms undertaken by the government, Aadhaar link and digitized ration cards. This allows only online entry and verification of the beneficiary data, and it also enables online tracking of the monthly entitlements and off take of food grains by the beneficiaries. যদি এইটো প্লেনিং মানে এইটো যদি মেথড ভালকৈ এমপ্লয় কৰা হয়, তেনেহলে কি হ'ব, এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ঘোষ কাৰ্ড হোল্ডাৰ প্ৰব্লেমটো হেৰাই যাব, মানে নাইকিয়া হৈ যাব। কাৰণ আধাৰ কাৰ্ড লিংক আৰু ডিজিটেল ৰেচন কাৰ্ড এইখিনি যদি লিংক কৰা হয়, তেনেহলে অভিয়াছলি আমি গম পাই যাম যে কোনে কিমান প্ৰকিউৰ কৰিছে আৰু সেইখিনি ৰিয়েলি কেনেকে কিমান মানে মন্থলি এণ্টাইটেলমেণ্ট হৈছে, গোটেইখিনি ট্ৰেক কৰিব পৰা যাব। Then computerized fair price shops, FPS, fair price shops, automated by installing point of sale device to swap the ration card. এইটো এটা বহুত ভাল নিয়ম মানে হ'ব যদি এইটো ভালকৈ এমপ্লয় কৰা হয়। যেনেকৈ আমি ATM মানে কাৰ্ড চুৱেপ কৰোঁ, তেনেকৈ ৰেচন কাৰ্ড চুৱেপ কৰাৰ ব্যৱস্থা। It authenticates the beneficiaries and records the quantity of subsidized grains given to a family. Then DBT, under the direct benefit transfer scheme, cash is transferred to the beneficiary's account in lieu of food grain subsidy components. They will be free to buy food grains from anywhere in the market. মানে সেইখিনি পইচাই তেওঁলোকৰ যদি একাউণ্টত দিয়া হয়, তেওঁলোকে কি কৰিব পাৰিব যে তেওঁলোকে যিকোনো ধৰণৰ ফুড গ্ৰেইনছ মাৰ্কেটৰ য'ৰ পৰা মানে য'ৰ পৰাই বিচাৰে তেওঁলোকে ক্ৰয় কৰিব পাৰিব, right? They can buy it from anywhere in the market. For taking up this model, prerequisite for the states and units would be to complete digitization of beneficiary data and seed the Aadhaar and bank account details for the beneficiaries. It is estimated that cash transfers alone could save the exchequer of rupees 30,000 crores every year. So, এইটো বহুতেই প্ৰয়োজনীয় হৈ উঠিছে যদি ষ্টেটছখিনিয়ে বা ইউনিয়ন টেৰিটৰীখিনিয়ে এই কমপ্লিট ডিজিটাইজেশ্যন অফ বেনিফিচিয়াৰী ডাটা ওপৰত বেছি ফ'কাছ কৰে, তেনেহ'লে আমাৰ দেশৰ 30,000 crores এমাউণ্ট ছেভ কৰিবলৈ সক্ষম হ'ব। Then use of GPS technology, use of global positioning system technology to track the movement of trucks carrying food grains from state depots to the FPS, which can help to prevent diversion. কাৰণ এনেকুৱাও গম পোৱা যায় যে মাজতে ট্ৰাকবিলাক ৰখাই বহুত জেগাত বহুত পৰিমাণত এনেকুৱা ফুড গ্ৰেইনছৰ বস্তা পেলাই থৈ গুচি যায়। এইবিলাক যাতে হ'ব নোৱাৰে তাৰ প্ৰপাৰ ট্ৰেকিং কৰাৰ ব্যৱস্থা কৰিব পাৰি GPS টেকনলজিৰ দ্বাৰা। Then SMS-based monitoring allows monitoring by citizens so that they can register their mobile numbers, send and receive SMS alerts during the dispatch and arrival of TPDS commodities. So SMS-based alert system should be activated. Then use of web-based citizens portal. So public grievance redressal machineries like, toll-free number for call centers to register complaints and suggestions should be activated. Now, way forward should be there, of course. First of all, primary should be given to ensuring that the functioning of FCI is streamlined and fast-paced as per the recommendation of Santa Kumar Committee. Santa Kumar Committee already actually put some suggestions that how FCI should be streamlined and fast-paced. So primary should be given to ensuring that the functioning of FCI is streamlined and fast-paced as per the recommendation of this Santa Kumar Committee. Now, 100 lakh ton silo storage capacity must be created in the country. For which, RITE has been assigned the task of changing the silo model, and they will give their recommendation in 19 days to FCI. So 100 lakh ton silo storage capacity ক্ৰিয়েট কৰিবলৈ ছাজেশ্যন পুট কৰা হৈছে আৰু সেইটো হ'লে আমাৰ যিখিনি ষ্ট'ৰেজ ডেফিচিয়েঞ্চি প্ৰব্লেমটো হৈছে সেইটো কমি যাব। Then at present, there are 3 types of laborers in FCI, namely departmental, daily payment system, and no work, no pay workers, along with the contractual labor. So government of India is deliberating to finish the 3 different arrangements and bring all workers of NCI under a single uniform system, which will bring stability of tenure and secured wages for all. So তাৰ পৰা আমি indirectly এই যিখিনি illegal activities হয় সেইখিনি কম কৰিব পৰা যাব. To improve the uses of information technology in FCI, a human resource management system can be implemented. So IT আমি বহুতে আমি দেখিলো যে ইয়াত IT based technology বহুতে দৰকাৰ হ'ব ট্ৰেকিং কৰিবৰ কাৰণে মুভমেণ্টখিনিৰ কাৰণে এভৰিৱেৰ. চ' FCI যদি IT বেছ কৰি পেলোৱা হয় সম্পূৰ্ণকৈ তেনেহ'লে তাৰ কাৰণে এটা হিউমেন ৰিচোৰ্চ মেনেজমেণ্ট চিষ্টেমৰ দৰকাৰ হ'ব. Now how we can conclude, PDS has helped bring about the socio-economic justice by helping alleviate hunger, malnutrition, anemia among poorest of the poor, BPL citizens, women, and children. The use of ICT to reduce the task points will further increase the efficiency of PDS. Obviously, PDS actually being started by targeting to alleviate the hunger, malnutrition, anemia problems for the BPL peoples. Now, what we need only to just efficient monitoring of the activities. For that, we have to rely on the proper uses of ICT. That way we can conclude it. Then let's come to the next question. The categorical imperative provides a way for us to evaluate moral actions because it allows us to test the moral validity of a principle or maxim discussed. কৈছে যে categorical imperative আমাক এটা ৰাস্তা দেখুৱায় যাতে আমি moral actions খিনি ইভালুৱেট কৰিব পাৰো আৰু তাৰ দ্বাৰা এটা প্ৰিন্সিপল বা এটা মেক্সিমৰ কি ভ্যালিডিটি আছে সেইটো আমি চেক কৰিব পাৰো. সো এটো হৈছে জিএস পেপাৰ 4ৰ কোৱেশ্চন 150 ওয়াৰ্ডৰ ভিতৰত লিখিবলৈ কৈছে. প্ৰথমতে জানিব লাগিব categorical imperative কি. Categorical imperative is a central concept of Kantian বা কান্ট বুলিও আমি কওঁ. কান্টে তেওঁৰ deontological moral philosophy used to evaluate motives for action. আকৌ এবাৰ কৈছো, the categorical imperative is a central concept of Kantian or Kant-based deontological moral philosophy used to evaluate motives for action. First formulation, act only according to the maxim, wherever you can at the same time will that it should become an universal law. Kant, 1785. Now, example of deception. According to Kant, lying and deception are under all circumstances forbidden. This is because if lying were to become a universal action, the concept of trust would no longer exist. So, Kante lying to forbidden korat gurutto dise karon jodi lying eta universal action hoy tenehole tu amak trustor dorkai nohobo. Now let's come to the body of our answer. Immanuel Kant, যিজন এজন famous philosopher deontological approachৰ কাৰণে. So Immanuel Kant 1724-1804 agreed that the supreme principle of morality is a standard rationality that he dubbed the categorical imperative. CI, categorical imperative. He characterized the categorical imperative as an objective, rationally necessary and unconditional principle that we must always follow despite any natural desires or inclination we may have to the contrary. So according to Kant, we have to follow this objective-based approach of categorical imperative, whatever the situation will be. So here to কৈছে তেওঁৰ মতে he characterized the CEI as an objective, rationally necessary and unconditional people. Okay, unconditional, focus on this term, unconditional principle that we must always follow despite any natural desires or inclination we may have to the contrary. The CI states that it is immoral to use another person merely as a means to an end, and that the people must, under all circumstances, be treated as ends in themselves. So এইটো হয়ও, আমি কাৰোবাক যদি আমাৰ নিজৰ স্বাস্থ্যৰ কাৰণে ইউজ কৰো, কিবা এটা মিন লৈ, কিবা এটা আশা লৈ যদি আমি ইউজ কৰো, সেইটো এটা ইমৰেল এক্টিভিটি। আৰু সকলো মানুহে নিজকে, নিজৰ মাজত থকা নিজৰ যিটো মৰেল, নিজৰ যিটো অবজেক্টিভ, সেইটোৰ ওপৰত কাম কৰিব লাগে। This is in contrast to some interpretations of the utilitarian view, which allows for use of individual as means to benefit the many. But what the utilitarian view or principle says? Utilitarian view says if you use a person for greater benefit, then that is okay. But what Kant says that anyhow, if you are going to use someone for your means, then that is not correct, that is not moral. ঠিক আছে? Then Kantian ethics refers to a deontological ethical theory that ascribed to the German philosopher Immanuel Kant. The theory developed as a result of Enlightenment rationalism, Enlightenment rationalism is based on the view that only intrinsically good thing is a good will, and action can be good if it is maxim. The principle behind it is the duty to the moral rule. So that action will be good if it is a maxim only when its duty is to abide by a moral law. So CI provide a way for us to evaluate moral actions and to make moral judgments. Moral actions and moral judgments. Act only according to that maxim, whereby you can act at the same time, will that it should become a universal law. Now, it states that one should choose our codes of conduct only if they serve perfect or imperfect duty and are good for all. Perfect duties are blameworthy if not met and are the basic requirements for a human being. So an example of such perfect duty is the avoidance of suicide. So কি কৈছে, perfect duties are blameworthy if not met and are the basic requirements of a human being. Perfect duty is the avoidance of a suicide. Suicide কৰিবলৈ কোনোবা কৈছে avoidance of suicide. Suicideক avoid কৰাটো হ'ব কি এটা perfect duty example. Now, act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, always at the same time as an end and never merely as a means to an end. Always at the same time as an end, but and never merely as a means to end. See the depth of this sentence? এটা এন হিচাপত সেইটো কাম কৰিছে, মানুহক হিউমেনিটি হিচাপত ট্ৰিট কৰক, কিন্তু কিবা এটা আশা ৰাখি পেলাই যদি সেইটো ট্ৰিট কৰিছে, that is not moral. That is not actually inferred here. This states that we should not use humanity of ourselves or others as a means to an end. An example would be that of slavery or prostitution. So it is a ভাল example, slavery or prostitution. For Kant, to treat people with dignity was to treat them morally. So treating people with dignity means treating them morally. This idea became a rallying point for those struggling against social hierarchies and for human rights. It represents what is called the moral conception of rights. Taking the example of forced labor and Zasmani system, where human beings are treated as means for achieving the ends, is a profit motive. We all know that, right? Human intrinsic worth, that is the dignity, is not respected. Remember the term human intrinsic worth. মানে কি হৈছে, dignity is not respected and they are exploited for petty gains. This led to inequality in society where one section of people are exploiting other section for self-motive. Every rational being must show act as if he were, through his maxim, always a legislative or a legislating member in the universal kingdom of ants. This states that we should consider ourselves to be members in the universal realm of ants. We should consider our actions to be of consequence to everyone else, in that our actions affect not only ourselves but that of others. So, eviction of tribes from forest land for construction of a dam and rendering them homeless. Can you relate this example to this? Of course. Yes, here we will stand in a position that we have to defend either deontological approach or utilitarian approach. So that's on you. You try to relate this example. Now, how we can conclude? Kant's philosophy of human individual as an in itself endorses the golden rule of treating others as oneself would wish to be treated, as no one wishes to be used simply as a means. Therefore, one should not also use other human beings as means to achieve their ends. আপুনি বিচাৰিব আপোনাক কোনোবাই নিজৰ স্বাৰ্থত ইউজ কৰাটো? নিবিচাৰে। চ' আপুনিও বা আমি কোনেও আনক সেইভাগে ট্ৰিট কৰিব নালাগিব নিজৰ উদ্দেশ্যৰ বাবে। So here is a Cantor philosophy. This philosophy can be of great help in resolving the ethical dilemmas where there is a debate between relative importance of means and ends. Means আৰু ends কোনটো important হ'ব সেইটোৰ ওপৰত এটা ধুনীয়া ধৰণৰ ethical dilemma আমি resolve কৰিব পাৰিম এই philosophy দ্বাৰা। Now, value additionত মই কেইটামান পাইছো, যেনেকে Kant's categorical imperative. এটো আমি কি কলো যে Kant believed that there was a supreme principle of morality and he referred to as a categorical imperative. So categorical imperative was just stamped as the supreme principle of morality by Kant's belief. The CI determines what our moral duties are. Kant thought that all acts should be just according to a rule he called as categorical imperative. A categorical imperative denotes an absolute, unconditional requirement that exerts its authority to all circumstances, both required and justified as an end in itself. Right. He gives the highest honor for categorical imperative because it became universal law that can be applied to any and everyone. He is saying that simply willing that our moral rule becomes a universal law produces a logical contradiction. His categorical imperative ensures that we are not doing this acts in mimic of others, but rather in line with some universal law, and that law is nothing other than categorical imperative. So এইটোৰ জৰিয়তে আমি এইটো কুৱেশ্যনৰ আনসাৰৰ সৈতে আমাৰ 3 নম্বৰ মডেল কুৱেশ্যনছ পেপাৰছখনৰ সলভ কৰিলো। আশা কৰো these questions are helping all of us to getting through some important concepts with respect to the Apsc mains examination. So with this, I'm stopping right now and we'll meet you soon in the next class with the next session. Thank you very much.